Welcome to season 2 debut of Did We Make Ourselves Clear? I'm your host, River, and this is so good to be back as we start this podcast again to clarify the subject matters of love, life, and everything in between. I'm so pleased to be joined by Kyle.
Hey, what's going on, world?
And KP.
KP, the killer poet, cognitive dissonance in the building.
Yes.
Man, this guest today, though, couldn't have been a better guest, and it couldn't have came at a better time, because in light of the recent events that we witnessed maybe about a little over a month ago with our nation's capital being stormed by extremists, it was a scene that I know you and I are going to remember for a long time, man. But we have our guest, none other than the author, hip-hop extraordinaire, Mr. Steve West, man. He's going to be coming in and he's going to be talking about his new book, man. It's called White on White Spite. Like the title, man, The Gentrification of America. Steve is a social media architect, musician, hip-hop extraordinaire, and entrepreneur. Steve, welcome to Did We Make Ourselves Clear, brother? And please would you please tell the world a little bit about yourself, brother?
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you look sharp. I feel like I'm underdressed. I got this raggedy t-shirt.
Appreciate you.
But
Day job got me like that.
Right. Yeah, I'm Steve West. I do a whole stuff. Real entrepreneur, I'll say. And I've been doing social media about 10 years now, marketing and things of that nature. This will be the first book I got on social media, basically to promote music, and I didn't know that it was going to grow into what it is now. So thanks for having me out here. I'm ready for some questions, and I don't know how to really talk.
Pleased to have you.
Yes.
This is it.
Well, thanks, Steve. My first question to you is totally in regards to the White on White Spite. What inspired you to write it? Tell us what happened. I mean, other than seeing it, what inspired you?
You know what? I was at my house, and some people. I was in my kitchen, and I was joking around with some people, and they were saying that Donald Trump was racist, and I replied. You know how like people go around the room and they say, "Ain't Donald Trump racist? Ain't Donald Trump racist?" And so when they get to me, I was like, "No," and then I just turned back around and kept doing what I was doing. And so they wondered why I thought Donald Trump wasn't racist. And I was explaining to them that Donald Trump wasn't loyal to anybody. For you to be racist, you'd be loyal to one race. Then you would say, screw everybody else. And so that's kind of how it started. And then they started asking me about why I thought Donald Trump wasn't racist. And I was telling them that I felt like Donald Trump was just out for himself. And if it was the right deal, at the right time, he would make money with anybody. You could be black, white, Mexican. And on top of that, he was selling out the white poor and the middle class. And they were like, everybody turned around and was like, "What you think?" And so that's how it all started. And I told them that the new war wouldn't be fought with guns and knives. It would be more of a financial war, racial war. So that's how it all started. It was a fun conversation, and that's how it started.
Man, in a lot of circles, that would not be a popular opinion, what you just dropped on us.
Yeah, that's true.
For real.
I know people dedicated to believing that the former president was a racist.
Yeah, but see, you got to look at what he's doing. I'm not saying he's not prejudiced. I'm saying that he's not racist, meaning that you have to be loyal to something to be. If you're racist like a KKK, that means that you are loyal to the KKK and to white supremacy only. That's it. And Donald Trump is. And once you get the book and you dig into it, you'll notice that really the one he sold out the most is the middle class and poor white. Once you really read through the book, you have to take the book like from chapter 1, and you got to go in order. And the way that I wrote the chapters was so you can put the book down. You can go into the real world and go look at some stuff, right? And then you will be able to what I'm saying, but you can't jump around.
Okay, Steve. We hear you, man. We hear you, my man. But for those who don't know the difference, because this is also a topic that normally comes up in the conversation, right? So for those who don't know the difference between a racist and a prejudice, go ahead and elaborate on that and how you expound on that in your book.
Basically, a racist person is what I would equate to like the white supremacists. So the you got the white supremacists, which is people that perpetuate white supremacy. Now, you don't have to be white to perpetuate white supremacy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely not.
You don't even have to be white to benefit from white. You know what I'm saying?
Sure don't.
But when you prejudice, that means prejudge people. So when Donald Trump comes in and says that Mexicans are this, or Black Lives Matter that, or the NFL people who don't kneel for the flag, they should be this, those are prejudice moves. You know what I'm saying? But then when you are talking racism, that means that you are excluding anybody else. And one thing he lets you know is he'll talk bad about anybody. You know what I'm saying? If you look at some of his policies that he never passed, see, it's a lot of, you can Google half of it, but he never did a lot of stuff, even for the white people that he promised. So it's hard to say that he's loyal to anybody. And that's the whole point I was trying to make to the people that was here that day. We can't think that Donald Trump, we got to know that he's prejudiced, yes, but he's not loyal to anybody, but he just judges it. You know what I'm saying? Basically.
Well, Steve, what would be your mindset on the way he kind of talked about those guys in the NFL when he said they need to fire those sons of bitches? And then when it came down to those racist folks that were raising that ruckus, you know, down south with that incident where the lady was hit, he said it was fine people on both sides of the fence.
I'm not saying that I agree with what he's saying. What I'm trying to say is Donald Trump was straddling the fence the whole time to get the vote.
I agree. He was dancing. I agree.
And once you look at the grand picture, you got to remember Donald Trump is a businessman. Okay, think of it like this. I'm not saying I don't agree with what Donald Trump did. I'm not saying that he's an awesome guy. I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say is I don't want the white supremacists in America or the skinhead or the KKK. That's why I call it white on white spite.
Right.
Thinking that Donald Trump got their back when he's just encouraging you to do certain things just so they can drop the numbers down as far as the population is concerned. So when he says these things like they should fire these guys and these sons of bitches, this and that, these are things that he has to say to lead that poor white person to believe that he's on his side. You know what I'm saying?
So he's using semantics, just basically clickbaiting folks in a sense.
Because he's baiting them into doing certain things. Because what's better? If you can have somebody kill each other off, they're already trying to separate the poor white. They got majority of the guns. They got majority of the wealth.
Yeah. So
they're trying to rob them. That's all this really is. And once you figure out what's going on, they're not worried about black people because black people kill each other. You know what I'm saying? They're worried about nobody else. The only person that they got to be sly about it with is the poor white, because they used to all be one group, like a currency. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So the white on white spite, is that a spin-off on black crime? I mean, help me understand the white on white spite. What does that mean? Describe that.
White on white spite means that to spite someone because you're mad about something that they did. You know what I'm saying? Out of spite. You know what I'm saying?
I got that.
Personal. You know, I feel like once people find out how much the government, the rich white, so you got, let me make sure I say this. So you got, this is going to be a war between the rich white and the poor white, the racist white and the non-racist white. So you got the whites that march with Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? You got the whites that are rich. You know what I'm saying? So you got these different classes of whites.
Right.
That all that stuff. So you're getting this divide, right? But once the insurrection on the White House is a sign that these people are saying, hey, we want our fair share. You know what I'm saying? We think that we don't want the status quo to change. So they come in there with their guns blazing. The whole reason why the government is trying to take the guns away from white people is because they trying to complete the whole separation thing. They can't They can't really take what they want. They already got, look at it like this. They already got the black person. You know what I'm saying? They already got the Mexican. You know what I'm saying? They already got those people subdued. The only person left that has majority of the wealth. This is all about greed and money, man. This is not killing people, just trying to separate people from their money. You know what I'm saying?
It's about that opportunity.
So real quick, in your book, you go in detail about the U.S. president and founding father James Madison, right? So why was that important to you to include Madison in the book?
See, James Madison had been, we had just came from Great Britain, you know,
Right.
meaning not we, like, but you know, America was trying there. America was like the thugs, the Americans that we got over here, like the Christopher Columbuses and all them. They were like the thugs of Great Britain, you know. So they left Great Britain so they would leave the tax codes and all the stuff that we going through.
Tariffs.
Yeah, that, right? And then they wanted equality. You know what I'm saying? So all they did was when James Madison, he was trying to draft the Constitution. I wanted to let people know that James Madison grew up with all these black people around him, built his house. And when they tore up the White House that time, black slaves had rebuilt it. You know what I'm saying? So you always hear about slaves rebuilding. That's kind of how it got rebuilt by black slaves. You know, so what I'm trying to show is that the whole book is about how they ran the racist play to gentrify neighborhoods. The same play they was running, they ran drugs in the black neighborhood to gentrify, right?
Right.
The book, you all haven't had all the chapters, but basically I talk about how white people are becoming drug addicts the same way black people were on crack, but white people are on these ADHD drugs.
Yeah,
right?
the scripts, pharmaceutical, big form.
Right, heroin, opioids.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Now
Exactly.
Right.
Me being a former drug dealer, you know what I'm saying? Like I might even look at it like firsthand, like, yeah, you're right. It was people bringing crack and heroin. Ain't none of us got no degrees, ain't none of us got no boats, but we got all these drugs, we got these scales, we know how to calculate all this stuff, but ain't nobody graduated from school, right?
Yeah.
So, same play that they did on us, on the middle class and the poor white, but it's only in crystal meth now. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Same thing, but different way they're treating it as a nation, and that kind of brings me to a digression of the question I was trying to talk to you about with the people that stormed the Capitol. One thing that I say, white supremacy is still alive and well, because what I've noticed is over these years, when black people, you know, as a group feel subjected or they feel like they're not getting their rights or their voices heard, they storm to their streets and they take to their streets and tear up their communities.
Right.
But these white folks are so invigorated and empowered and bold even that they went straight up to the nation's capital. So to me, that says a lot about, you know, the general consensus of the way Americans feel.
Yeah.
You know, there's a serious sense of entitlement there that I don't think anybody's tripping off of.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying in the book is that, see, they can't really say what they've been doing. See, the stimulus check was not for us. You know what I'm saying? We think it is, but the stimulus check is trying to give them a little change because they know what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? We get ready to go to a cashless society, and they know they're going to be ready to kill everything moving because most of the white males, most of your white people have the guns and the wealth in this country. You know what I'm saying? So if you're trying to rob somebody, they're not trying to set up the robbery for us. You got to really look at what Donald Trump was doing. The wall never got finished. The wall he's talking about never got finished. You know what I'm saying? You got to say that. And then look at it like this. If Donald Trump is a man who always uses outside contractors, which is what he does, the person that's always looking for a deal, do you think he's actually going to go to white supremacists who going to be thinking they're entitled? They're not going to be trying to negotiate and take a lesser deal, but you know who will? An immigrant will. A black
person.
So
Mexican.
let me
For those who had just walked into the room, this is Steve West. He is talking about White on White Spite, his book. And I wanted to jump in here and just say one more time, explain to us the similarities and the differences between the times in which James Madison was here and the times in which we are living in now.
Well, see, James Madison was the first, one of the forefathers of the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? He was the oldest sibling of his family. And I was trying to paint the picture of him having a heart for black people because there was so many black people around him. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying he was a lover of what black people that way, you know, but sorry about that, I was checking the chat. But basically him because all around his family, that's who his servants was. And then when they stormed the Capitol, black people helped him get away and take him to safety. So he had, I believe, a soft spot for the Negro. You know?
Yeah, I agree. Because James Madison, man, he was kind of short. You know what I'm saying? He had an affinity for the sisters.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And being that the Quakers were really like big on abolition, man, you know, it was dynamic how he married a Quaker woman. How did this influence his worldview, you know, according to your study and research?
Exactly. And see, right now, today, and even I have a section in the book that I talk about Barabbas in the Bible. See, Barabbas, when Jesus Christ got crucified, okay, Barabbas was the one that they chose to take and let him live and crucify Jesus. But a lot of people don't know that Barabbas was in jail for insurrection against the Roman government.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to say is getting this cycle of they running the same play and it keeps repeating itself. You know what I'm saying? So saying, okay, the Bible, you got the Sadducees and the Pharisees who are Jew against Jew. They Jesus Christ, and they go to the Roman government trying to get the Roman government to kill Jesus Christ, and it works. Right. All the way to the future, you got Christopher Columbus come over here, break away from Britain, right? Only to have Britain come back and try to take over America, you know what I'm saying? Because they want us to keep paying taxes. We fight against Britain, we get our freedom. So we say, okay. So when we have another cycle of people saying, okay, we're not gonna do it no more. But then all of a sudden we turn into bad people against each other again. But the only difference about this time is that white supremacy has done such a good job of boxing everybody out from getting money. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure people couldn't get jobs, making sure places was
education.
And nobody was able, like, let's say for instance, you can't expect for nobody black to help you, which is the person who's probably gonna have more of your value system because he ain't got no money or she ain't got no money. You know what I'm saying?
White supremacy has worked so good on their mind that they won't even be inspired to help their own country.
Right. The indoctrination.
That's how he spoke on how white supremacy don't have to belong to white folks for you to benefit from it, because there's a lot of people that are benefiting from this current power structure that don't want to rock the boat right now.
Right.
Absolutely.
Donald Trump. See, like Donald Trump and them, and I got sections in my book where I talk about the white supremacists traveling, selling tobacco. You know what I'm saying? Traveling, selling cotton. And that to the globe, you got black people that's in power. So if cotton is sold globally, you know those white supremacists, the rich who can afford to get on the ship, going and meeting a bunch of people that didn't look, and they probably was looking like, man, this joker look like a straight nigger. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Slaves, but he buying all this cotton from me and all this and that. So it's about the greed and the money. So, but when they come back over here, they cannot tell the poor white what they've been seeing. You know what I'm saying? Because, and the deals they trying to make. So, so basically what I'm trying to say is, with the money, with coronavirus happening and it's shutting down the city, that means that these businesses are making less money, right?
Right.
With less people working, that means less money is circulating, which is why we start ending up with the essential worker. And I hate to say this, but the majority of the people that do most of the work we know are black people. I mean, you go to any company and you find out who's doing the heavy lifting, more than likely it's somebody black or Mexican. I'm talking when I say saying the job, I ain't talking about the person that's in the office pushing
dirty job.
Yeah, you're talking about
dirty job.
The lower levels, right? The lower.
Yeah.
So
entry level.
Basically,
industry level.
So Steve, let me ask you something. What about? I want to retract to a few of the statements that you made earlier when you stated that as far as like Donald Trump's position on racism and being prejudiced. And a businessman. But what would you say? What would you say to the many years of support by white supremacists that was coming from a lot of the southern states like Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, etc. Like, what would you say to the many years of support that he's had from well-known and highly influential white supremacists? Especially through the Bible Belt, what would you say to the many years of support that he was getting from these white supremacist groups? If in some type of way that he wasn't pushing some type of white supremacist agenda. So go into that for me.
he might have started off, and you know, it's tons of research that you could do where he hung out with black people for a long time. I used to live in New Jersey, man, and there was never a time when I didn't hear about Donald Trump somewhere kicking it with somebody black. Now, I was too young to really go out like that, and I didn't know, and I just wasn't moving around like that up there. But it wasn't no time I didn't hear about Donald Trump hanging out with black people. You know what I'm saying?
I know Donald Trump about that bread, man.
Right.
He ain't got with you.
And you don't think
Right.
that was just like to win approval of black people, or do you think that might have been a tactic that he also used on poor whites?
Well, no, well, I would agree with that. But when you're dealing with an opportunist, see, you got to understand an opportunist,
Right.
or a narcissist, but an opportunist first. If it's all about making $1, and that's what it's all about with him and the wealthy white supremacists.
Right.
See, the poor white supremacist, all he got or she got is being white. They don't have no long bread. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no hotels. You know, they just got pride in being white pride, right?
That's
But
right.
to the drawing board and break no bread off on no big deal. And then most of the time, if they don't watch it, they get so entitled, you know what I'm saying, that they got pride and not gonna do certain jobs. So what I'm trying to say is that
You're right about that.
That person in the Bible Belt, I'm gonna say, and that's why gentrification happens kind of slowly. That person in the Bible Belt,
Chitlin Circuit.
Yeah, the Chitlin Circuit. That's basically, I'm not doing this job. You know, what I'm saying? And they basically,
because I'm inherently superior to the colored folks that have to do this job.
There you go. And then what happens is the colored people that have to do the job end up getting perfected with doing the talent, you know, like doing the trade. So like you was trying to set it up, and it ain't nothing. It's just a fact. If you got a majority of Mexican people that keep doing lawn services and things like that, and they it's just cheaper for you to hire them, then why would you want to hire a white supremacist that feels like they privileged when you can get this other person that's going to do it for cheaper?
That sound workforce. They not marketable. They're not marketable at all. Not an attractive candidate to hire.
You know what I'm saying? So down south where you got the racist people, you got more of those Mexican peoples coming across, and that's why you got Texas with all this Spanish speaking stuff going on. It's an easy workforce to get cheap labor, right?
Right.
So that's the reason why somebody like Donald Trump, I'm saying that they evolve into that. I got a chapter that talks about evolution of a white supremacy. They evolved to that. Just like if all of us was doing business, and you and like if I'm a white person, and like I feel like since I'm white, you can't talk to me any kind of way. I don't want to go to third shift or fourth shift or second shift. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get to the point where if you're dealing with the essential worker, which means that you're already cutting people because you ain't got that much money circulating. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So with the coronavirus, they shut down the world.
Right.
That means people ain't going out spending as much as they would have been spending. Not in the stores. So now the person in that Pizza Hut selling less pizzas. You know what I'm saying? So he coming back in there looking around trying to figure out who can I get the most work out of, who ain't gonna give me no talk back.
Right.
Who
gonna show up on time. So would you say that since economic opportunism is rooted in white supremacy, would you say that capitalism is a bad thing?
I think capitalism as it was is gonna have to change. Because
how so?
Because basically the way that capitalism is set up now is set up within the tax system of America, and it's basically built to where I want you to lose more than win. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm hoping that you fail because then I can sue you or I can come scoop your business up. It's more set up like the hyena in the wild.
Right,
you know?
right. Eating everything.
To work real hard. I'm just looking to capitalize off what happened to you. You know what I'm saying? So the world.
So would you say that more black people or people of color should learn how to think like capitalists versus, complaining about a system that they're probably not going to see in their lifetimes end?
Black people should learn service-based jobs. They should stop going to college. And I hate to say that. Unless you're going to be a doctor, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't even say be a lawyer because they're trying to contract that out to mediators. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about a system. If it's based on thievery, it's not set up for you. It's set up to steal from anybody at any given time. So that's the thing that a black person and a poor white, and I talk about this in my book, The poor white person, the only person that's going to hurt from this move that's going to happen is the entitled white person.
Speaking of your book, can you tell us, I'm so sorry, I mean to cut you off, but I do want to, I have some questions that are coming in from other people. They like to know, where can they find the book? How soon is it going to come out? And go ahead.
I have a pre-order next month. It's going to come out March 30th, and that's because it was going to come out on the 28th, but we setting up the chapters, you know, basically lining up the chapters to where people can read it in succinct order. So I have a pre-order link next month. So
okay,
that's dope.
I'll give it to you guys. It'll be a pre-order link, but that's the main thing, because I didn't know that the editing and stuff would take long, you know, because I basically was just writing it like I'm saying to y'all, and I had to formulate it. And,
Yes, sir.
Right.
So Steve, what would you tell the average person? Because I know I tend to stray away from politics, you know, because I think that it's more divisive than anything. But I noticed that over this last presidential, you know, situation with Donald Trump, it divided a lot of Black people. I know a lot of Black people that will say racism through Donald Trump is the only reason that they're down and out. And now that we have a new president, you know, it's pearls and chucks, and everybody is singing "We Shall Overcome."
You know, I'm gonna say something, and I don't know that. You know, I've been blessed to be financially blessed. You know, and I come from Pine Line, which is I'm the whole. You know, drug addict parents, drug deal, those streets that you drive up and down. I was one of them dudes out there with a pack, you know, in my drawers.
That's right. Likewise.
Right.
You know, so I understand it from both sides. What I would say is the government as it was, you know, the Democratic Party, you know, man, I don't want to get no enemies, and I'm not trying to start nothing, but I just got to call it like I see it. Anybody that's enabling you is not helping you. You know what I'm saying? But like
Actual fact.
I don't think that he's a swell guy, but what he's doing is, if you learn, what he was going to do was, which that's the reason why they had to get him out of there. See, under some regimes, they want everybody to be a form of a slave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Republican, a lot of people look at Republican just like I used to too before I got my blessings, you know, and I used to think all Republicans are bad, they are horrible. But basically, Donald Trump was trying to set up, and he was, if you was to follow it, and I read tons of his books back in the day, you need to become your own person, like sovereign. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah, wow. Entrepreneur, and you need to learn some service-based skills. Learn how to fix cars. Learn how to do carpentry. Learn how to do electrician. How to do stuff.
So he's basically saying plug into something that's never gonna go out of style. Exactly. Make yourself essential.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't try to. I would even tell people don't be no supervisor at no job. Don't even.
Oh, that's a headache anyway.
Because honestly speaking, the way that the system is getting ready to crumble, they're gonna come fire the people that make the most. You know, first.
Yep. So they're going from the top to the bottom. Yep.
Working and you're ahead of this, and all you're doing is, if your job is you sitting still and you put pencil pushing and you telling other people what to do, they coming to fire you. If you're working as a bureaucratic type person, like where people got to get anything that's stopping the
social climber,
that's what's gonna happen. And a lot of times, so that's what I'm saying. This book is not it's not against white people. I don't hate it. I'm saying I get a lot of money because you got these white people that I know that's collecting guns and doing all this stuff. And what for? You know what I'm saying? Because the new person that's buying the land over here is not going to be American. You know what I'm saying?
You got that right.
And here's the other thing too. I just want to make sure I say this. These people that's coming over here, they go to war for real. See, like you can storm the Capitol and talk all this. That's what I'm saying about white people. You ain't never really been hunted. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never really been set back. You don't know what real killing is about. But see, if these people come over here from overseas, they're gonna be buying this property for cheap. You're gonna have people that kill for real, like these Iraq people, Iranians. They kill for real.
AK building at 5 years old.
There you go. So that's what I'm saying. Like just like here we go, the same play. Just like in the Black neighborhood in the Pine Line when they used to gentrify that, and somebody moved from the Blue Mars. Now you know I used to be a Blood. So Crips will move in, so then it'll start all this war because they ain't got the same value system as us. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. What I'm trying to say is it's the same play that's going on, which means that I'm not talking bad about Taliban, nobody about like that, but I'm saying that people that's going to be coming over here are not going to be trying to join the skinheads or the Ku Klux Klan. They're going to be looking at you did to everybody that was here already, and they're gonna be ready for you. You know.
So is it safe to say that white supremacy is coming to an end? Is out of style?
It's coming to an end. No,
yeah, it's all about that green
Yeah.
at the end of the month.
That's what it is. And see, the thing
all
is,
about the green.
white supremacy.
All about that credit.
No, credit's
Yeah.
going. It's going.
Credit.
It's going. No,
Credit.
credit scores will no longer.
Credit.
My understanding is credit scores will no longer be a big deal because of the crash that's about to happen.
That too.
Cash
We're gonna
ain't
be
either.
barter and trade.
It's gonna be border and trade.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
Especially with the cryptocurrency.
Like you said, produce
Yeah,
something.
cryptocurrency.
You got to be a producer.
You gotta
not
be
a
able to
consumer.
have some currency,
Mhm.
silver, gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that's
Yeah.
gonna be worldwide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And what the
One unit.
equalized
One
everything.
unit.
Say again.
The internet equalized everything.
Sure
So
did.
Yeah. Man, it did level the playing field.
It did.
exactly, you could drop an album on the internet.
Just did that.
You know what I'm saying? Build a little studio in your closet.
Right. Make a beat on your phone.
Yeah. And the video.
And
they
the
got
video,
to
right.
make the video now too.
So I have a real quick question about when you moved to Denver to live with your uncle and his wife. How did that influence your opinions about the race relations and economics in America?
You know, they was trying to make me get, I was in trouble, and my uncle was up in Denver, and my uncle was a real dark-skinned man, believe it or not, most of my family is real dark complexion. I don't know how I came out, but it's probably
Nah.
Got some explaining to do. Right.
look, man. Nah, but,
What you say? You got to display.
Yeah, right.
That's funny.
my uncle was hanging out with these white people, but his
Mhm.
uncle had money and he had businesses, so they
Right.
common ground of a value system.
Yes,
know-
yes.
Was like, man, in Pine Line, it wasn't hardly no white people, period. It was a few, but it wasn't a lot at all.
The
You know,
police.
You got around white people, you thought they was the police or
Right.
So-
Addict. A narc.
I'm like, he hanging out, chumming up. But what connected him was this dude had businesses like my uncle did. And that's what led me to believe that the future people will be clicking up based on values. It ain't gonna be about color. It ain't gonna be about nothing. It's gonna be like, okay, you gay, he's gay, she's gay, all y'all gonna hang out together. You know what I'm saying? You vegan.
That sounds like socialism at its worst.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, shoot, man, I love this conversation.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to
Absolutely.
circle back for a part 2 because we are coming to a close of our
Yes, indeed.
segment,
Yes,
man.
indeed.
Yeah.
So, before we close out, what do you want readers to take away from your book? Like, what do you, out of reading your book in its entirety,
Yeah.
what do you want the reader to take away from it and put some type of value to their lives?
Man, I want people to know that you got to become self-sustained and you got to work with your tribe. You know what I'm saying? You got to
You want them to become what?
self-sustained. You got to
Self-sustained.
and you got to be aware, meaning like, you got to work with your tribe and you got to care about other people. You can't, the capitalist system of just me, and you get yours, it's over with because the money is currency and it needs to be circulating.
It
So
needs to circulate. Absolutely.
care about your customers because you want them to come back and spend more money. So you got to care flat tire, you got to care if they get sick, you got to care because not only are you caring about them, but you care because you want them to come back, circle back, and get some bread with you. So I want people to know that this is not the country can turn around, but we got to basically care about each other and not look at it as a me or you type of thing, but more of a collective society thing. We got to start caring about each other, and helping people help people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? I got to get bread on
agree.
your own. Boom,
Well, thank you for joining us today, Steve. For our viewers out there, thank you so much for participating. I'm going to shout out Liz, Yummy D, Q, Eve's Nectar. Thanks for all commenting and being a part of the chat today. Please do tune in for Tuesday, March the 9th for our interview with Siri Atmakar, a Kundalini teacher. If you're wondering what the audio versions of our podcasts are located, they're all on the Patreon. So definitely join our Patreon on patreon.com/Did We Make Ourselves Clear. This is also a way for you to show support as we work on perfecting this show.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Steve.
Thank you.
We
Yeah,
definitely
yes,
would love to
man.
have you
Man.
back.
Yes.
Part 2.
Part
Yes.
2 of it.
Yeah. And I might
Yes.
give away some books or something like that for you all to give away. So that
We'd love to
Appreciate
do that.
man.
We'd love to do
You
that.
came a long way, man.
Yes.
I just want you to know
Absolutely,
that I know
man.
the Lord ain't brought us all this for
Just
to drop us off here.
did we make ourselves clear.
We are